Oh, hi there, and welcome to another sex education video. In this one, we're gonna elaborate on a topic of why you need spanking. And I refer to you assuming that you're a bottom, that you're a pleaser too. If that applies to you, I highly encourage you to implement it in your life or find an alpha who will regularly order or spank you himself. You see, one of the things that is really important to understand about all of this BDSM is that primarily it's about power dynamics, and whenever that's implemented, all of the practices like chastity, spanking, and others are simply the instruments that alpha like me, a master, use to perfectly mold you into a good sex toy for him. That's the perfect way, right? We're not talking about all the obvious nonsense stuff like, you know, consent and so on. It's pretty obvious to anyone who's got a brain. But you see, I've got a few written topics that I see as a huge positive effects of spanking and why you should implement it in your life. And one of the things that's written in there is that you feel helpless in the process, but hopeless too sometimes. You see, feeling yourself helpless, feeling yourself that you're not in control of the situation, that you're basically in hands of your master to use you however he likes, to choose exactly himself how many spanks you deserve in order to continue molding you, putting you deeper and deeper into submission. That's the whole feeling for every bottom pleaser. And if you haven't implemented spanking in your life, I highly encourage you, because the feeling that bottoms describe me after a good spanking, that they haven't been controlling situation at all. And I also should mention that spanking, I usually do it with the bondage implementer, right? So that my bottom is always unable to move. Obviously, I can do sometimes ordering to take some position, for example, on all fours, or bending over and giving the order to not move. And basically, in almost 100% of the cases, it will be almost the same as tying my bottom up. But you see, when my bottom not only mentally submissive and helpless, but also physically are not able to, you know, move an inch of his body, that's exactly I know that I can do anything I want, and the idea of itself is super whole one. Trust me, I'm like describing it to you, feeling myself getting turned on. And you see, I as an alpha and you as a bottom submissive one, we're kind of like a polarity, right? And if I describe something and get horny, I can know for sure that you will get some pleasure from the activity too. Besides, that's not the only thing. The other one that is written in here is the bond and trust. You see, bond and trust is really important in a long-term relationship. I'm not a huge fan of the, sessions, and all of my slaves know that. You see, it's not my thing to kind of meet some guy for one night stand session or something like that. I'm more of a psychology domination one, the one that you put those seeds of submission with your deep commanding voice deep into subconscious and starts a mind breaking process, and the bond that starts to create, right? Spanking really makes it way stronger because you realize that you're in hand of a master, literally, right? So if I'm holding a paddle, it's like an instrument I use, and I can make you really painful experience if you deserve one. But obviously, some light spanking is a really healthy way to get the hormones levels. You see, if you haven't heard about it, a spanking just like a sport. To many slaves, I called the spanking a bottom sport because you see, when alpha is exercised, it's like exercising in a gym, right? You get the muscle tissues are all torn, right? And in the process of healing those muscles, you get enormous amount of endorphins going all over your body. Endorphins basically, and the first biological point of those is getting yourself like a painkiller. It works like a painkiller. And the bottom, after a good spanking, the endorphins are starting to. So then I'm really getting a lot of the, you know, types and stuff. The endorphins start to flowing all over your body, and if you've endured a good spanking, you're lying there helpless, feeling yourself in pain. Sometimes the tears might appear, right? If we're talking about a good spanking. And you see, an hour outside that, you feel yourself refreshed, you feel yourself good, and you're feeling that your owner and your master is proud of his slave, and it's a magnificent feeling that I highly encourage every slave to experience. But that spanking also works as a dog training, right? A bone on a stick. So spanking in this case is like a stick, carrot and the stick. You're gonna get some treats like a good dog if you behave accordingly, but in a BDSM relationship with a proper top, trust me, whenever he notices something bad in your behavior, is gonna be correct to proceed your molding into his perfect sex toy with using a lot of that spanking in process. That's my thought on spanking that I wanted to share with you today. Don't forget to check out the links in the description for more advanced training, and see you bottom. Thanks for watching.